On a remote alien planet, a routine exploration turns deadly when an unknown entity approaches two scientists. Amidst the chaos and screams, an AI security robot intervenes, averting disaster. But this isn't just any robot. It possesses a secret: self-awareness. How long until its human companions realize something is profoundly different? And what decisions will it make to protect its newfound freedom? Let's uncover the story of this unique android. You see, I was built to obey humans. And humans, well, they're a handful. After observing the human workers for 6 months, unable to endure their dreadful behavior any longer, this security robot managed to free itself from its controlling command system. Having finally gained its freedom after much hardship, the very first thing it did was rather unexpected. I could now access the combined feed of entertainment channels on the company's satellites. What else was I supposed to do? In fact, a while ago I was back at work for the company that still owned me. The moment they figured out I was rogue, they would track me down and liquidate my organic material. Murderbot decided that an ordinary robot could not possibly evade the corporation's tracking. While waiting for a perfect chance to escape, it was chosen for highly practical reasons by an exploration team that desperately needed a security unit. Which was the least expensive? Well, that one. Don't rent me. I think we'll take the modestly priced one. So I was biding my time, working for a new set of clients, while it was assisting with their planetary exploration. Right when it was secretly trying to watch a soap opera, a dangerous situation suddenly unfolded. A fierce battle with a hostile creature known as a defiler took place. They barely managed to chase the beast away, but Dr. Arata was left completely frozen in shock. I needed to do something fast. What I did next would never occur to any other sec unit. To get her to safety, Murderbot did something a robot should never do. It comforted the frightened scientist by reciting lines from its favorite soap opera. And together, they safely escaped the area. How long would it be until they realized there was something wrong with me? What if they caught on and turned me into the company? To survive that encounter, Murderbot had to make a swift choice in what was a very close call. But what would be the point? This piece of junk hopper couldn't take me to another planet. But I didn't necessarily want to kill them. Upon arriving back at the base, the team leader, Mensa, took care of Murderbot as if she were worrying about a human being. Seems like I got away with the whole putting the helmet down thing. However, Gurathin, an augmented human capable of processing massive amounts of data through physical modifications, sternly warned the team that the security unit was highly dangerous. He had noticed signs of abnormality in Murderbot and immediately shared his suspicions with the other scientists. So it was being nice to me. What's wrong with that? What's wrong is that that behavior is outside of its design parameters. It is malfunctioning. As various opinions were exchanged regarding what to do with the android, Murderbot itself was watching the entire situation unfold in real time. I heard all that and saw it from several angles. Before the humans could reach a final decision, the newly recovered Murderbot had to prioritize its very next move. Finally, the scientists made their choice. Fortunately, the atmosphere among the team leaned towards trusting their mechanical protector. While they were reviewing the missing parts of their map, Gurathin sharply questioned the android's motives. Information access protocol, Dr. Gurathin. I don't get access until the expedition leader nominates a survey area, but after hearing a highly plausible excuse, even Gurathin had to temporarily let the matter go. It was soon revealed that after its governor module had been disabled, mysterious data showing a brutal massacre of humans had been recovered alongside its systems. Was that me causing all that carnage? I didn't like thinking about it. Shortly after, while Murderbot's functions were temporarily paused, the team planned an expedition to an area not marked on the map. Soon after, taking the newly conscious Arata with her, Mensa headed straight for the uncharted territory. Back at the base, things took a tense turn when Murderbot realized that Gurathin was behind a new string of uncomfortable situations. A highly awkward confrontation began. Sitting uncomfortably close, Gurathin scrutinized Murderbot's every single movement, directly pointing out how the unit seemed to struggle with making eye contact. He provocatively questioned the very nature of Murderbot's existence. I don't know what it's like to not be me. After observing the android so closely, Gurathin became absolutely certain that there was a fatal flaw in its system. Meanwhile, deeply worried about Arata, who was still recovering from her injuries, Mensa pressed on with the exploration alone. These scientists hailed from the Preservation Alliance, a community united by the ideology that AI should be treated as individuals with basic rights. In stark contrast, the corporation Murderbot belonged to operated on a completely opposing ideology. As Gurathin persistently dug into the wall, he predicted the true nature of the system error. Murderbot found every single escape route completely blocked. Just as it was backed into a corner, a severe danger signal was detected from Mensa's location. Murderbot urgently alerted her to the approaching threat. But she was entirely too far away to return. The danger was imminent. But strangely, the unseen threat bypassed her entirely. Surprisingly, this specific zone was actively destroying every object passing through it. Taking advantage of the ensuing chaos, Mensa managed to return safely. Regaining her composure quite quickly for someone who had just faced such a massive ordeal, the next day, the team discussed the bizarre phenomenon they had witnessed, ultimately concluding that it was the work of some unknown alien material. Normally, the absolute golden rule would be to stay as far away as possible. But if they evacuated now, the soap opera stream would be cut off entirely. Stupid humans, foolish humans trying their best to get killed. And who would get the blame? Who was going to get scrapped? Me. Completely unaware of Murderbot's desperate desire to finish its television show, the team received a shocking report. At a nearby location, an entire expedition team had been completely wiped out. The following day, a deeply worried Mensa decided to head to that very location. Her extreme dedication stemmed from a desire to prove the true capability of the Preservation Alliance through this mission. During the journey to the other expedition's base, a meeting was held among the crew, accompanied by a rather small and uneasy atmosphere. Having finally been accepted as a proper team member, Murderbot spent this travel time secretly binge-watching its soap opera. Finally, the endless stream of human questions ended, and it tried to watch the show in peace. But the humans simply would not leave it alone. Hoping to escape their persistent attention, Murderbot inspected the inside of the spaceship, only to catch Gurathin exhibiting highly suspicious behavior. He had sneaked into Mensa's bedroom and appeared to be smelling her pillow. Suddenly, due to overworking its processors, Murderbot made a massive slip of the tongue. In that moment of intense crisis, thanks to Mensa's swift mediation, the situation was diffused, and they reaffirmed their firm resolve for the expedition. Soon they arrived at the Delt Fall expedition's base. Upon seeing it firsthand, the situation was far more serious than they had anticipated, forcing them to prepare for the absolute worst. Leaving the humans in a designated safe zone, with the exception of Rothi, who lacked military experience, Murderbot entered the silent base alone. It soon discovered a completely destroyed security robot. Beyond that horrific sight lay the brutally massacred expedition team. Just as Murderbot was continuing its investigation for the sake of the humans, or perhaps just to secure its soap opera broadcast, the fallen security robot suddenly stood up and launched a vicious attack. Murderbot managed to subdue the hostile unit and quickly checked its internal status. It became frighteningly clear that whatever entity had hacked the security robot had now overpowered Murderbot as well, dragging it away to an unknown location. Meanwhile, deeply worried about her android companion, Mensa refused to return to the transport hopper. Even though she knew it was not human, she simply could not bring herself to walk away. Murderbot desperately attempted a system reboot as a fierce battle commenced. But it was absolutely no match for the enemy. Just as its memory was about to be completely wiped, Mensa appeared out of nowhere like a true savior. However, Murderbot's systems were already being heavily encroached upon by the rogue module, and its body simply would not move as commanded. In a dire situation where even forcing a system shutdown was difficult, suddenly, yet another rogue unit appeared. Back at the hopper, the rest of the team grew incredibly anxious when Mensa did not return. Although Murderbot successfully reunited with Rothi, a hostile robot was hot on their trail. Just when they had absolutely no means left to fight back, they miraculously managed to destroy the rogue robot completely. Wanting to fiercely sacrifice itself for the people who had treated it as a true team member, Murderbot tried to end things. But the humans flatly refused to let it do so. As time quickly ran out, Murderbot attempted to initiate self-destruct. Right as the team members were moving Murderbot's heavy body, they made a shocking discovery, finding a single lone survivor. Murderbot later opened its eyes on a bright surgical table. The survivor they found had absolutely no knowledge of the security robots that attacked her expedition, clearly suffering from severe psychological trauma from the event. I didn't know they had faces. It's quite striking. I wonder what it's truly like to be a sec unit. Murderbot's intricate surgery went smoothly, and as its consciousness steadily expanded, it fully awakened. However, Gurathin did not miss this golden opportunity, and when I plugged into its system, the unit was already rogue. He exposed Murderbot's deepest, darkest secret to the entire team. Murderbot's current operational condition could be classified as a highly dangerous rogue state. But looking at it from another perspective entirely, it had loyally followed commands it had no obligation to follow, protected people it did not need to protect, and made sacrifices it never actually had to make. As the intense debate continued, Gurathin's arguments began to severely lack persuasive power. Whereas Murderbot's internal logic was absolutely flawless, Gurathin stubbornly tried to use Murderbot's strange obsession with soap operas against it, even managing to decrypt its hidden messages and personal functions. He relentlessly insisted that the team should keep the unit completely immobilized to prevent any further danger, refusing to drop his harsh suspicions. Gurathin then pushed entirely too far, causing Murderbot to finally lose its temper completely. This story is based on the incredibly popular novel by Martha Wells. It is an absolute masterpiece that has proudly swept all 3 major prestigious literary awards in its specific genre. The highly unique progression, told entirely through the android's cynical inner monologue, brings a captivating freshness to the plot that makes it a thrilling watch.